Definitely. So, I've been using the iPhone 15 Pro Max for the last 6 months. Yes, the iPhone 15 Pro Max came out in September of 2023, and for the last 6 months, I've been using this as my daily driver phone. Yes, during this time, I've switched the Google Pixel 8 Pro to the Samsung S24 Ultra. But again, I keep coming back to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is my favorite phone ever. This is the best phone I've ever used, period. I know there's a lot of people saying that, oh, the Samsung is better, oh, the Google Pixel is better. And for those people, I'm gonna say, maybe, but maybe it's better for you. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience in the last 6 months with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and if you can relate, tell me in the comments down below. While you're there, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let's get started. In the last 6 months, the iPhone 15 Pro Max has done everything. It has been my secondary camera for my channel. It has been my vlog camera. It has been my photography camera. It has been my portable computer. It has been my phone, my communications device, my internet device. It has been everything. Smartphones these days, they replaced almost every single device in our life. They replaced our cameras, our microphones, our computers, our iPads, our thermometers, our newspapers. They replace everything. They do everything. And so it's normal that we place so much of our confidence, so much of our lives in these tiny devices. And the iPhone 15 Pro Max, in my opinion, is the best smartphone you can buy in 2024. Yes, it's not the best overall hardware smartphone on the planet right now. That I gave to the Samsung S24 Ultra in my review. So yes, I'm not a complete Apple sheep. I love Apple. I love their devices, but I also can recognize success and achievements in other products. And the Samsung S24 Ultra is an amazing, amazing phone. But the iPhone, I think it's a more complete package. I think that the iPhone has everything. It has the hardware, it has the software, it has the ecosystem. And these three things right here, combined together on this iPhone with iOS, with the iPhone, and especially with the Apple ecosystem, make this the best smartphone for you to buy, the most complete one in the planet in 2024. And the last 6 months have proved me right. Because here we have a perfect device. iOS, iPhone hardware, Apple's ecosystem have made this phone complete and very, very easy to use. From the Apple Watch, to the AirPods, to the Mac, to the iPad, and now with the Apple Vision Pro. The iPhone has been surrounded by amazing, amazing devices that complete this experience. Again, I own an iPad, I own a Mac, I own an Apple Watch, an HomePod, or AirPods Max. I have everything from the Apple ecosystem. I still don't have the Apple Vision Pro. That's something that I want to buy and acquire and view. It still has not come out in Europe, so I gotta wait. As for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it has been close to perfect. The design is just very comfortable to hold, holds up really, really well. In the last 6 months, I've not had any issues with durability in terms of the titanium edges and titanium frame. It's still brand new, no scratches, way better than the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which had that shiny stainless steel that can easily pick up scratches when compared to titanium. This one is a matte finish. It's brushed, more brushed than matte in terms of the titanium. I love it, looks amazing. And in terms of the screen, from the day that I bought it, I put a screen protector on top of it, never taken it off. I've broke some, replaced them. Never use your phone without a screen protector. But again, no issues on the cameras, rings, no screen protector there, no issues there, no issues on the back glass. Nothing, no scratches. These are very resistant to scratches. The buttons still feel really nice, really clicky. And yeah, the USB-C port had no durability issues. I've put this phone on the water, the ocean, no issues there. So yes, no issues with water, no issues with scratches. I never broke this phone once. So right now, in the first 6 months, we are right. Oh, and one thing that is actually a very hot topic on the iPhones since the iPhone 14s is the battery health on these iPhones. Mine, in the last 6 months, let me see, it's at 100% with 179 cycles. You can now see it on your iPhones. So if you come here, it's at 100% with 179 cycles. So first use, September of 2023, manufacture date, July of 2023. So yeah, as you can see, 6 months and everything is okay with this phone in terms of durability. The design is incredible. The contoured edges are an amazing, amazing change. They are more comfortable to hold. They make the iPhone feel more premium still and more comfortable at the same time, which is quite weird. So I think Apple was right switching back to this more contoured, more comfortable design while still keeping the flat edges. So this is more closely like the iPhone 5's design, or at least the iPhone 5C design, than it is the iPhone 4's design, like the iPhone 12's. So yeah, pretty great in terms of hardware. The speakers here, insane. They are super loud, but also super clear. I've made several comparisons against the Google Pixel 8 Pro, the Samsung S24 Ultra, and I think still the iPhone speakers are the best in the market. The microphones are incredible. The action button is probably the only thing that I consider being a gimmick on this phone. It's useful for some people. For me, I don't think it is. I don't have any type of shortcuts enabled on this action button. I don't have it enabled for more than actually turning on the camera. So if I click the action button, it will turn on the camera. And if I click it once, it will take a photo, but not more than that. Rumors are saying that we are going to get another extra button on the Pro models with the iPhone 16 Pro. It will be a new record button right there on this frame of the phone. And here you'll be able to use it as a capture button. So take photos just like this, press it once to start recording, press it really hard to do another action. So yeah, I don't use the action button that much. I've had it on the camera for a while now, don't use it. I think I will put it back onto the silent mode. That was a pretty useful feature. But I guess I like knowing the status of if it is on silence or not without looking at my iPhone directly at the screen. But other than that, I don't really care about the action button. USB-C, though, has been one of the biggest changes that I've ever felt on the iPhone forever, because it has changed everything in my life. Now, I only need one cable for my iPad, my iPhone, and my Mac, my camera, my AirPods, and all of my camera accessories. So it's insane how USB-C has changed my life since I have this phone. Transferring footage from the iPhone to my Mac, fast, efficient. It has been incredible for my vlogs. It has revolutionized the way that I use this phone as a camera. So yes, I think I gotta thank EU, although I don't agree with the way that I did it. I'm glad Apple implemented USB-C on the iPhone 15s. Another thing that I started using on the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the last 6 months that I did not use on the 14 Pro Max was the always-on screen. Yes, the iPhone 15 Pro Max has an amazing 120Hz OLED display. 2000 nits of peak brightness outside. This is king. Incredible, very easy to look at, very, very bright. 120Hz makes this display very fluid. It's also very, very smooth and very fast. And the colors are well saturated, but they are not too blue, they are not too orange. So they are not too warm, neither too cold. They are perfect. Samsung phones, they have this saturated look, this different look to them that you can distinguish between this and the Samsung S24 Ultra when watching a video. The same HDR video, you can notice the differences. But the main thing that I was not using on the iPhone 14 Pro Max that I noticed that I started using more on the 15 Pro Max was the always-on display. Other than that, the biggest differences between this display and the actual 14 Pro Max display was the size of the bezels. At first, you notice, but after a few weeks, you will forget. Again, the only thing that I actually liked a lot on the 15 Pro Max was the always-on display. And not because I think there's the difference between the 14 Pro Max always-on display and the 15 Pro Max always-on display. There's not. They are the same always-on displays. But since Apple implemented this new feature on software that enabled me to just put my date and time up there, so a more simplistic, always-on display, it actually gave her more battery life for my phone, so it saves battery, does not need to show the whole wallpaper. And I like this approach. I like it much, much better now. I use this as a clock. I use this when I'm sleeping to see the time if I woke up in the middle of the night. And I use this when I'm working out to control my time in the gym. So it's actually a very, very useful feature that Apple implemented on iOS 17, I think. And with the iPhone 15, I think it's even more useful because of the increments on the battery life. Yes, the battery life. The battery life on this phone was incredible. Much, much better than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The 14 Pro Max, in the first 6 months, was a very disappointing experience. The second 6 months, I was getting used to it, and so, okay, it was a one-day phone, so I cannot complain. But the iPhone 15 Pro Max has been consistently a 1 day and a half phone. So right now, it's 11 p.m. As you can see, it's quite late. I'm recording this video. I still have about 29%. And this is good because, again, I use this smartphone like every single day. Every time I have a lot of hours logged in on this phone. I can easily tell you right now how many hours I have for today. Today has been a 5-hour and 6-hour day. So as you can see right there, 6-hour day. So with 6 hours clocked in on screen time, the phone it has still 30%. So it's an easily 1 day and a half phone if you are not as addicted to your phone as I am. So yeah, again, this is the battery life, the display, the hardware, miles ahead of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And for being only a 1-year jump from the 14 Pro Max, it actually changed a lot of things. But the biggest changes on the iPhone 15 Pro Max happened on the camera side. And in the last 6 months, this has been perfect. I cannot describe how good the cameras have been revealed on the 15 Pro Max. This is the first time that I've used an iPhone and thought, oh my God, I don't need my mirrorless camera anymore. I don't know what happened, but for the last 6 months, in some instances, like vlogging, I don't feel the need to bring my camera, the big camera around, to scare people. I simply bring my phone with a gimbal, just prop it there, and I start vlogging, like this or like this. I start vlogging, and I love vlogging with my iPhone 15 Pro Max. The footage looks creamy, crazy. Log footage is a blessing from Apple on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Changed everything. Even the normal video I think it's better. The sensors are better. The photos are sharper, creamier. Everything looks better, looks closer to a mirrorless camera. It gives this vibe of a bigger sensor where it actually isn't. It's a tiny bit bigger, but the difference is negligible when compared to a mirrorless camera size sensor. But I don't know why, but this camera this year, the upgrade is so big. It feels so big. And I've taken incredible shots with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I really like to share with you guys for you to understand how good the iPhone 15 Pro Max camera really is. In the last 6 months, taking photos, traveling, taking incredible pictures, memories, the iPhone has not failed me once. Incredible, incredible phone. I've taken shots that I look at them and I think, whoa, this was taken on a mirrorless camera. At night, during the day, harsh conditions, perfect golden hour conditions, this iPhone never disappoints. And again, I reiterate the video. The video is just insane. This is my secondary camera on my channel. I take B-roll with this. I take vlogs and I film vlogs with it. All of my vlogs that you see on my channel are made with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I rarely use my Sony camera because I don't want to bring this expensive camera around, this big camera around to the gym, to the university. I don't need to. I don't need to scare anyone. Just simply bring your iPhone, a tripod, and you're good to go. A gimbal, maybe a small gimbal like the DJI Osmo gimbal, small one, easy to carry around, and all the footage looks smooth. If you don't want to use a gimbal, you don't need to. This stabilization here is insane. Handheld footage on the iPhone 15 Pro Max is actually one of the best I've ever seen. And if you want even better than that, Apple has the action mode. The action mode is this mode where you can run and move your phone up and down, and on post, Apple will correct all of these movements. It will look really, really good. I've tested it out against the Sony A6700, and it actually looks insane when you are running around with a huge gimbal like the DJI RS3 and with your camera, and then with the iPhone, just holding your iPhone, running around like this, and both footage look the same in terms of stabilization. Insane. The low light performance of the action mode is not as good as the other modes, but it's still in good lighting, a perfect mode for shooting video. So yeah, I don't have anything bad to say in terms of the camera of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Oh, and do not forget, the iPhone 15 Pro Max also introduced the 5x telephoto. The 5x telephoto was something that I was not expecting to like, but I really love taking portrait photos. Portrait photos with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, they look different. They look like a mirrorless camera. They have more bokeh. They have more background blur. They really look like a portrait photo, a real portrait photo, not a fake one with that fake background blur. No, looks really good. That 120mm equivalent lens just looks different, gives it a different perspective on subjects and landscapes. So yeah, I just love this 5x telephoto. Oh, and it's super useful sometimes when I'm in class or somewhere far away from the subject and I want to take a photo. For example, I'm on the back of the class, I want to take a photo from the board. Everything is written really small. I simply zoom in with my phone, my scumbag zoom in, take the photo, and everyone is impressed with the quality of my zoom capabilities. Yes, I did it with the Samsung S24 Ultra with the 100x zoom. That's simply insane. That's scumbag zoom at that point. Insane zoom on the S24 Ultra, but on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it's still really, really good and much, much better than the iPhone 15 Pro and the phones before that. So yeah, zoom is just cool. Maybe the only things that I noticed in the last 6 months that have been present in the iPhone for a long time now has been those green tints on the lens, those green flares when you are shooting against the sun. Those are still present, and I don't know why it happens on the iPhone. I don't know if it's the coating on the lenses. I don't know if it's any problem with the sensor. I'm not sure. But one thing is for sure though, it's way better this year. In the last 6 months, it has been more rare this happening, but it still happens a lot. And it's quite sad because sometimes it ruins the photos. I did not have this issue, or at least that big of an issue with the Samsung's or Google's camera, but yeah, the iPhone's camera is so miles ahead of those two in terms of video that I can actually give it an excuse and still give it the best smartphone's camera around in 2024. So everything from USB-C, the display, the camera, the titanium frame, everything has been incredible. It was totally worth it, the price that I paid for this phone. And do not forget, the iPhone 15 Pro Max has actually been the same price as the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Although people are saying that the 15 Pro Max is more expensive, $100 more expensive, it is not. Apple slashed the 128GB base model, they replaced it with the 256GB base model at the same price of the 256GB base model of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So, all of this confusion to say the iPhone 15 Pro Max, although it has titanium, a better camera system, USB-C, better display, smaller bezels, overall better design, overall better construction, more premium materials, it's still the same price as the iPhone 14 Pro Max was when it was new. So 6 months, 6 perfect months of experience with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Excited for the next 6 months with this phone. And then of course, then it's iPhone season again, with the iPhone 16 coming out in September of 2024. Super excited for that. I have videos covering up all the leaks on the iPhone 16, so go check them out. While you're there, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Tech Summer talking to you here. Bye-bye.